Welcome back to my channel. I'm here again with another video, and in the last video I made a cover for these journals that I purchased on Instagram. I went ahead and created that. We sewed in the button, well, we didn't, I did, and attached this. As you can see, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and if you're interested, please go ahead and check out that video. In this video, I really want to do something different. I love journals, I love scrapbooking, so I was thinking what I can do is create a scrapbook, like a book that I'll use for scrapbooking. If you're interested in watching this one, again, it's already uploaded. All right, so I don't have a plan per usual. This is just something that I thought of because I had two books that I read, wasn't going to read again, wasn't that great. And yeah, so anyway, they're old books, so I somehow sometimes feel bad about like tearing stuff apart, but I'm using what I can to create more art. Now what I want is to cut this down a bit because it's a little too thick for what I want. As you can see, I don't have a proper anything to do. This is literally the back of a clipboard. And I want this to lay flat, so I'm going to overlap this using a glue gun. Oops. Making sure it's kind of flat on itself. I don't know if I need a piece of fabric there, actually. Maybe that'll work a bit better if I just put in a piece of fabric in between, so it's not just paper on paper. And this is scraps that I used for the last book cover. I just like using what I have. It's not necessary to go out of your way and buy things. Obviously, if you don't have a glue gun, then you might need that. But for the most part, I don't like having to purchase so many things to do something creative, because then I just won't want to do it. I won't want to do it, but if you're being spontaneous, it defeats the purpose of when you have to go to the store or something. Okay. I don't want to mess with this too much because then it'll get tacky and it won't actually glue itself together. I'm going to glue it this way now and make sure I press this down on itself. Now what I would do when I was younger is, because I would honestly do this so much in the 90s. That's when I grew up, and I carried around a journal everywhere, and I would put patches on it, pieces of fabric, and I kind of want this to be the same. Now let me show you what I'm going to be using. Things dropping. Okay. This is fabric from an old pillowcase, and I was tired of this pillowcase, like carrying it everywhere. I moved. It ended up just getting really dirty and old. And anyway, sunflowers always reminds me of the 90s. It was such a thing back then. Sunflowers, daisies, So I want to do something that just takes me back. And so I thought, let's do this. And so here we are. Now, what I want to do is I want this to be the outside of the buck. And I know I may have to cut, I know I will have to cut this sunflower here, this portion. I'm okay with it. I can patch it up and put it over here. Or what I can do, no, what I'm, let me see this size here. Yeah, what I can do is focus on this sunflower in the front, and then I will overlap this for the back. Okay, well, you're going to get a different angle now because my camera died again. I don't know why. Whatever, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. So I'm recording on my phone now. Hopefully it looks all right. Now all I'm going to do is cut this off. Okay, I'm going to leave this piece as is just because I want to see what the back is going to look like before I cut it. Okay, I don't need the clipboard anymore. I use it to do the cutting. Yeah. All right, so now we go in with the easy part, which is just gluing this down. I want this as flat as possible. I don't want just chunkiness. I mention this in every video. I don't like chunkiness. And then you press down. Don't mess with it because then it'll get tacky. It won't actually stick. And you can feel it cooling down. And it cools pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna stick some of this in here in the middle, making sure it's flattened. And I don't really want this lifting. Sometimes I'll just deal with the edges and not put any glue in the middle, but this I want it to be flat on here. Sometimes I think about, wow, how time flies. I think about the 90s and sometimes it feels like it was just 10 years ago. I want to make a video going back to my old middle school. It's no longer active. They shut it down, so I couldn't just, you know, go on a regular day. I would have to call whoever owns the property, which is, I think, the church across the way. These edges don't matter, but I will Just cut them straight. And I actually think what I'm going to do is cover this inside with, like, see how this has a piece of paper? I'll do the same thing. To be honest, this is so fun to me, and it's a nice project. I've mentioned before that I don't have any children, so I know that if you are a parent, you may not have an hour to dedicate to doing a project like this. But also, if you have children that are old enough to do arts and crafts, this is something that you can do with them instead of having them play on their phone or video games. It's important, I think, for everyone to continue doing things that requires using your mind and problem solving. Some of this is definitely problem solving. I think that's looking so beautiful. It really takes me back. Now I know when people get older, they just think about the old days and how amazing they were. This middle part got a bit stiff on me. It's okay. So I'm trying to break it in a bit. And I'm going right along this edge here. Again, flattening the glue. And no chunkiness here. And then I'll press it in towards that. Oops. There you go. And then now I'll cut off these little pieces here. All right, so what I decided actually is I'm going to remove this. I like the frayed edge here, so what I'm going to do is bring that right up to the edge so it has that edge here that's it's a bit not messed up, but has some character to it. Let me just paste this part down. All right, let's do it. Let's not think about this too much. And I'm doing it right where it really begins to come apart there, so it doesn't continue doing so. I want to get right on that edge. It's a cold day here, so the glue is cooling down a lot quicker. I don't like working as quickly as I'm doing right now, but I don't have a choice. There you go. Now the reason why I put this piece under is I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the sunflower. I don't care if it's a lot thicker, it's no big deal. It's a pretty thin fabric overall. I'm a bit bummed that my camera died because I definitely want this to have the same visual quality. So I think what I'm going to do is wrap up this session of covering it, and I will be back tomorrow to finish off the inside. I will line it with paper just as you would a book, and then go in and build the journal. And it's going to be a lay flat journal, and I'll show you exactly how to do that as well. Thank you so much again for still being here. I know this isn't the end of the video, but still, I really, really appreciate it. So I will see you in 0 seconds for you. But I am done for tonight, and I'll be back in the studio tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day. I am exhausted. There was a storm. Well, there's been a storm in LA, and I love the rain, but I just feel tired. I feel like I didn't get much rest. Just to refresh your memory, even though you were just here 2 seconds ago, this is what I did yesterday. Seeing it now, it just makes me a bit emotional. I think as time passes, you realize who you were, and then the kind of, teenager or child that you were. And then life happens, kicks you in the butt. But I'm trying to get back to the core essence of who I am, and I think that comes from the things you loved when you were a child, when you were innocent, when things were, well, not everybody had a normal childhood. I sure didn't, and it wasn't the best, but I try to make the best of it with being creative, and this is a reflection of that. Oh, okay. Anyway, didn't expect to get emotional. I have this huge, you can't tell on camera, but it's really big, like drawing pad, and I think because this paper is really thick, I'm going to use this paper here. Okay, let's see how that works out. Now I've had the glue gun on. I'm going to start on the edge. And again, when I'm putting on this glue, I want it to sit flat. So I'm going over it. Let me bring you in closer. I didn't even bother to look into how they actually do this, what kind of glue they use. Honestly, I like figuring things out on my own, so that's why I didn't research this at all. I won't put too much glue in the middle. I don't want to waste a lot of glue. All right, so what I'm going to do is just speed up this portion. Again, I'm going to make sure I glue it down flat and then put a bit of glue in the middle. Do the same thing for both sides. I might have gotten too excited. So the point was to put these here, but some tabs underneath so then I can build my journal on it. It's like fully glued in. You know, I've thought about, okay, write things down and make sure you follow it so you don't forget. I wouldn't want to put another layer on top of this, but I may have to because now, I mean, this is fully on there. Oh man. Yeah, that was not a good thing. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna do this process of cutting these again, and then we'll start our journal so you can see the full how it's supposed to be made. Okay, so what I just did off camera was hand cut a bunch of paper, 2 size. Now, okay, cool. I'll need one on this side and then one on the other side. I didn't want to bore you with doing it on camera. It's not fun. It wasn't fun. My hand hurts because I hand cut all of them. Editing me here. So I went back and forth on this idea of breaking up this video into 2 parts, and I think that's what I'm going to do. That wasn't the original idea, but I figured if someone doesn't care about the portion to make the book cover and all of that, then they can just watch the part 2 where you learn how to build the pages of the journal. So if you're interested in both parts, then I will make sure to immediately edit that second portion right now. And once I post the first part, I will immediately post the second part. That way you're not waiting around for that second part. Anyway, thanks again for being here, for watching, and I'm so sorry again for breaking this up into 2 videos. I'll see you very soon.